Hi, I'm Allie.
I'm Nick.
And this is the But Have You Tried Bookshelf.
The post-summer reading
post-summer reading program, But Have You Tried Bookshelf.
It's exciting, isn't it? So exciting, I forgot how to say program for a minute there. But it's all over. How do you feel?
I mean, I feel tired.
Yeah.
But I feel good. I feel like it went a lot faster this year than it usually does.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's because it was more pleasant than it usually is.
That's true. That's true. We had a nice streamlined process. I feel like things were organized well. I felt good. I felt good about it. And you know what? I saw the stats, and we circulated over 1,000 more items in July of 2026 than we did in July of 2025.
That's amazing.
So I know. I was excited to see it. So it was a
You guys are checking out a lot of books.
That's right. Thanks. Thanks for checking out books and movies and such. But it is kind of nice to sort of take a breather and be like, okay, all right. Any standout moments? What did you like best about this summer reading program from the teen side of things?
I mean, I always like a lot of the activities we do. We do the campfire on the terrace. I think that's usually like my favorite, I would say. It's just like, it's always so relaxed, and we're just like having marshmallows, and there's like fire at the library, which is a weird thing. You know what I mean? That's always a highlight for me. Sometimes we do tie-dye, and that I also really enjoy. And then my hands are like weirdly colored for days.
Yeah.
You know, my fingernails are like all green.
Yeah.
The rest of it washes off, but I then just look like a witch for a few days. So that's usually a winner. We read a lot of hours this year. I still need to like go down and calculate where we left off, because my number is from like last week. But as of last week, it was like 938 hours total.
That's pretty good. Well, I was on the kids' desk this morning, and a couple of teens came in and were like, we have so many more. Can we still do it? And I was like, yes, you can, because it was all stuff from last week. So I gave out, I want to say 37 tickets.
Nice.
So
it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So, yeah.
It's always funny to me when someone comes in like in the last week and they're like, I've read every single week, but this is the first time I've come here. And I give them like 150 tickets or something like that. It's, I don't know. It's comical, and I do enjoy that.
That's true. Have you pulled the prizes yet?
Not yet, because since people can still put in tickets.
You're letting them yeah, okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, it's always an exciting time. It's always an exciting moment. Have you watched any more Jurassic Park things?
No, I have not, but we are planning to watch that.
The new one.
The Rebirth one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some day that we almost watched it, and then we were like, oh no, it's too late, and we're old. We have to watch a TV show episode instead.
I know. That happens to me quite often, so I do understand that.
But anyway, speaking of watching things, what have you been watching?
Would you like to start with movies?
Sure, let's start with movies.
Okay. I watched one on Canopy, which is a library streaming app, everybody.
Canopy.
It's called This Time, and it was such a weird, it was one of those movies that felt more like a play. There were these basically like high school sweethearts who ended up like running into each other like just as the guy is like moving out of town, and they've all moved on and everything, and they just have this little like time capsule experience, like reconnecting and stuff, and you never know where it's going to go. You never know if you like, should we be rooting for them, like what's going on. Just a very quiet, interesting kind of movie, like tension, but not in an unpleasant way. It's just like, where can this go? What can happen? So I liked it. It's called This Time. It's with Ken Kirby and Leilani Nicole, and it was good. I liked it.
Nice.
One I did not like was The Dink, which stars Jake Johnson from New Girl, which we just finished our New Girl rewatch, and it was not intentional. We weren't out there seeking more Jake Johnson in our lives, but we watched it. It's a pickleball movie, a few years too late. It's him and Mary Steenburgen.
As in, like, dinking the pickleball?
Look at you. Yeah.
I know. See, I know something.
Have you played pickleball?
I played some weird game that I think was adjacent to pickleball.
Okay, but you know the terms.
But I know... I think I just know the term dink because it was, like, referenced in a book where there was pickleball, I want to say. But once you said pickleball, I was like, okay, I see the dink. Because dink, immediately what I think of is, like, dual income, no kids.
Ah, okay.
So once you said pickleball, I was like, oh, okay, different.
Yeah. Different dink. I also watched Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, I wanted to go see the new Spider-Man movie we were going to, and it just never happened. And so one night, I was just by myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw on Spider-Man Homecoming. And it doesn't disappoint. It's a great movie.
It's such a goodie.
It's so good. I don't have a lot of, like, the next one, what is it, Far From Home?
Yeah.
With Mysterio. I don't dislike it, but I don't have the same sort of, like, fondness for it. I've never really, like, I want to watch that. Like... That's a movie I watch if I'm doing a Spider-Man rewatch or something like that. You know?
I feel like what's fun about Far From Home, I mean, the fact that it's like all over Europe, that's fun.
Yeah.
The Mysterio stuff can be a little tedious, but the Europe stuff is fun. And the fact that I feel like the like Peter, MJ, and Ned dynamic is more established.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
true.
That's like one of the selling
Yeah,
because
I did sort of forget how little Zendaya there is in that first movie.
Yeah.
She's really not there very much.
She's just like doing her own weird girl thing.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. Like like she doesn't leave anything on the table, you know. But Homecoming's great. I still haven't seen the new Spider-Man yet. Have you?
Yes.
You have?
One of the movies I watched. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Caleb and I went to see it last weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, then let me have it. What did you think? Don't spoil it for me.
I enjoyed it a lot. I had a great time. I won't say anything else because I feel like anything else I could say would be a spoiler. Yeah, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I successfully have avoided any kind of information about this movie. So
I know. Well, I'd seen the trailer, so I knew a few things.
Yeah.
But I felt like for once the trailers didn't give too much away.
Okay.
Because I feel like often it's like I watch the trailer and it's like, all right, well, that's...
You know the movie.
I know everything that happens.
Yep.
Have I told you who I guessed Sadie Sink's character was?
No.
Okay, well, good. My guess was correct, but you don't know what my guess was.
Okay.
So that's not a spoiler.
There you go.
You just know that I'm smart and the best.
Yeah, I'll know that you're smart and the best. Sometimes I think about that time that we did the episode of Doctor Strange back in How's Things, and we were so mad about Multiverse of Madness. We just did a whole diss track of that movie, just a separate episode. Yeah.
We just had so much to say.
I was going to say that Eric splitting the Jurassic World Jurassic Park episode, because we talked so much dinosaurs we had to split it. That's the first true two-parter of But Have You Tried? Because the Doctor Strange
that was back in the House Things era.
Yeah.
Well, and that was like, we were like, okay, we're going to talk about this and we're not going to say any spoilers. And I think we mostly succeeded.
Yeah, we did.
We were like, no spoilers, but it was bad. And then we were like, okay, and you want to listen to us talk about how bad it was in detail? With spoilers for like 45 more minutes because we can.
Here it is.
There's a lot to say.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you like Spider-Man. I am looking forward to watching it. Didn't like Brand New Day. You probably haven't read the comic.
I have not read the comic Brand New Day.
I don't know if they're just borrowing the name. I would think so. I mean, that's a crazy comic to adapt. So I guess we'll find out once I see it. Speaking of adaptations, we watched The Martian, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon, based on the book by Andy Weir.
I didn't know that had Matt Damon in it.
Yeah. He's the Martian.
Well, I assumed that was who he was when you said he was in it. But
my son has been reading The Martian, and he finished it partly for the summer reading program. He was like, I got to pound through this so I can count these hours. So he finished it on Friday and really wanted to watch the movie. So we watched the movie, which I saw in theaters back when it came out, but I've never rewatched it. Of course, I read the book. And we watched the extended cut, and it's good. I mean, it's just a really good quality movie.
I haven't read any Andy Weir or seen any Andy Weir, and it's like I keep meaning to, and I just keep not doing it. I have no excuse.
I have zero fondness for Artemis, which is his second book. But Project Hail Mary, I'm like, well, and The Martian I love. So, you know. I felt the movie of Project Hail Mary was a better... showing the story more clearly.
Okay.
I felt like it was a superior
I've heard like pretty much only rave reviews about the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. It's just a matter of when that happens.
When that happens. Yep.
When that happens.
So that's it for me and movies. How about you and movies?
I also watched, and I think I watched last month, and I just forgot when we recorded our bookshelf episode.
Let me check if we can allow it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, which I'd never seen before.
Oh, okay. All right.
And yeah, that was fun. I mean, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is my Spider-Man, but I enjoy and accept other Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed those movies. I think I liked the second one better. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a little bit more my jam. It felt much more comic booky in a way that I feel like the MCU had kind of gotten away from. So I really enjoyed it at the time. Fun fact about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, we watched it, and on our way home, my wife's water broke, and so we had to turn and go to the hospital instead.
That is a fun fact. I love that.
So
that's a great story.
Yeah. So every time I think of Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think of that.
Yep.
We also had a car full of groceries, which did not last. So.
Oh no! You just like run into the hospital, like, can you stick this in a freezer
Pretty
somewhere?
Much. It was like, it was a long process, and so an hour or so, I was like, wait a minute, the car's full of groceries. So I went out there, and we were just like eating cookies and like drinking milk. It's just like it's all going to go to waste. What else are you going to do? Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I also watched a documentary on YouTube of Caleb's finding.
Okay.
Called "This Is Financial Advice." By a channel called Folding Ideas.
All right.
And it's about like meme stocks, like the whole GameStop stock rising and everything, that whole situation. It was really a deep dive, and I definitely knew some things about like the GameStop situation.
Right.
Like I remember it happening.
Yes.
But this revealed a lot more about that and like subsequent meme stock situations that I was unaware of.
Okay.
It was very entertaining and informative.
Yeah. Well, I'm
If
glad
you're
you liked
interested
it.
in meme stocks, that's
That
the
could
place
be
to
it.
go.
Yeah.
What about TV shows? What you got for TV?
I finished a lot of stuff. I finished Baskets, which I've been watching. I've talked about this a bunch. Zach Galifianakis, Louis Anderson. Very sad to have that end. It's 4 seasons, and it was good. I mean, I think it stayed really consistent the whole way through and was like just right. We also finished our New Girl rewatch, as I mentioned, which was a lot of fun. Part of me was like, we could just start it again. It's been enough time.
I understand.
But,
I understand.
Didn't do it, though. I have sort of started. No, I'm in season 4, so I can't even say it that way. We're rewatching Seinfeld now.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the plan. I just like put it in one day, and then we just kept going.
Yeah,
so.
sometimes it just happens.
I also finished Stick with Owen Wilson. That's that golfing one that we were talking about. Again, pretty satisfying. I assume there'll be more. I haven't heard one way or another if there's going to be a season 2, but those are the things I finished. And then I started watching Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, which is a different sci-fi show created by stuff that Gene Roddenberry had written prior to his death.
That's kind of
cool.
cool.
Interesting premise. It's like this one ship, the Andromeda, gets stuck in a black hole and is freed by like marauders 300 years later. And society has like collapsed, and bro's like, well, hey, I got this ship. Let's see if we can rebuild society.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
it's
love
kind
that
of a fun
can-do
premise.
spirit.
I know. I love it too. And then I'm watching Masters of the Air on Apple, which is a World War II thing. I'd started it once before, but was not willing to commit my full attention to it. And so I just kind of fell off my radar. So I was going to pick it back up again, but I was like, I don't remember anything that's happened. So
that's probably wise.
I started anew and am enjoying it. What about you? And you know what? We were watching through The Office with our son, and we finished The Office.
Nice.
Which, holds up. And then we started The Paper, which is like the sort of spin-off.
Oh.
You haven't heard of this?
I don't think I have heard of that.
It's a Peacock original. It's 10 episodes. It's renewed for a second. That's supposed to start later this year. And it basically is the documentary crew from The Office goes back to see what happened to Dunder Mifflin, and it follows their corporate parent and finds like where the remnants ended up, and it's at this like failing newspaper in Ohio. And it's just that. There's a couple of characters that make the transition, but mostly it's just a new. Domhnall Gleeson is the lead. I don't know. I only watched the first episode.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued.
Well, I'm curious to hear what you think of it.
I'll keep you posted.
My show offerings have been minimal. I did finish Off Campus, which I really enjoyed. I did some Googling to be like, how similar is the book? Would I enjoy the book?
Right.
Inconclusive. I'm not
okay.
sure.
Well,
I'm not convinced that I will enjoy the book, but I don't know.
Possible.
It's possible. I might give it a try if I'm feeling brave. Caleb and I are still watching Elle, which actually that reminds me of another movie I forgot. We did watch Legally Blonde.
You did it.
We did it.
The Wilson brothers. I'm watching Stick.
Exactly.
You're watching,
Exactly.
Okay.
And I never watched that movie and don't have a blast.
Okay.
It's just a good time.
Okay.
And I think it also enhanced Caleb's appreciation for the new show. Because of how good the actress is doing it, capturing some of the mannerisms and everything. And he'd seen the musical, so it wasn't like he didn't know the story.
Sure.
But I was like, we gotta
on stage?
I think so, yeah.
He saw the musical on stage?
Well, I know for a fact that we saw, I think some of his brothers were doing tech for a school musical.
Gotcha.
And it was Legally Blonde. And so we saw that together, but I think he's seen it otherwise.
Wow. He sounds like a real aficionado.
I know, but he hadn't seen the movie.
That's weird.
Come on.
Are you going to watch the sequel now?
Come on. I do kind of want to.
It seems like I have to.
Yeah.
You're pretty into it now.
It's just a when I have time.
Sure.
Question.
Yeah, I understand.
I really want to watch the second season of Good Girls Guide to Murder. But and now that I'm done with Off Campus, I'm like, maybe I can start that.
This could be your
time. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I love that book series.
Okay.
It's so good. So unhinged. Speaking of book series.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
For years in a row, I would pick a Kathy Reichs book from the book sale remnants and read it. Do you know these books at all? The Bones books. There was that TV show, Bones, which I've never seen, and supposedly they're very dissimilar. Like the character's name is the same, and the general concept of her knowing about bones. But I think outside of that, it's not really similar.
Okay.
So this is maybe the third or fourth of these books I've read, and I would say objectively, I do not like these books.
But you keep doing it?
Yeah.
This is your tradition, your personal tradition of suffering?
It's like I went back and I was looking through Storygraph and I have like, when have I read these? And it was almost like every 2 years, like every other year I would go back to it. But I hadn't. 2020 would have been the time I went back to it. And you remember that year.
Right, yeah.
It was not pleasant. And we didn't even have a book sale, so, I didn't even. And then I just sort of forgot. And here, when we were sorting it out, there was a bunch of Kathy Reich's books. And I was like, you know what? For old time's sake.
Oh, my gosh.
I read it and was like, I don't really like these. So
you're such a glutton for punishment.
I guess.
Why are you doing this?
206 Bones is what it's called.
Oh.
So.
Well.
206 minutes I wish I could have back from Kathy Reich's. I read a couple of Star Trek books. I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or not. I know I told you about it, but my son was doing a space camp thing, so I was spending a lot of time in Allegheny, New York. So I went to the Allegheny Public Library, and it's in like an old bank. It's like on the corner. It's like the Flatiron Building, but it's
I love a good Flatiron Building.
A library. So I went in there and just had like a whole day to kill. And it's not, it's multiple floors. It's not huge or anything. And I found a little table and I was settled in and I was just doing some exploring. And I walked into this room and there was just more Star Trek books than I've ever seen in my life. In one
amazing.
place. Like truly more. I mean, we have a great collection and it's more. Mm-hmm. It's more than that. And so I was like, what Star Trek book do I not own that the library doesn't have that I need to read? And it's this Star Trek Enterprise book, Daedalus. I have the sequel because I just picked it up at like a Goodwill or something like that.
Is the sequel Icarus?
No,
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I do think the wing on the cover is on fire in the sequel.
Okay,
which
that's something.
Implies.
That's something.
Yeah, and so I looked, and sure enough, they had it. And so I checked it out, and I read it, and it was pretty good.
Cool.
So, and I already own the sequel, so I'm going to go back there. So, but it really was like a mecca for paperback Star Trek fiction in Western New York, and I don't think they get enough credit for it. So just shout out to my friends at the Allegheny Public Library.
Absolutely. If you're in need of Star Trek fiction, that's where to go.
I never was like, I am also a librarian. I work at the David A. Howe Public Library. They were just like, who is this random person hanging around our library for a couple of days while his son's at space camp? So they don't know. Let's see. I also read a Star Trek book for my book club with my buddies called To Defy Fate, and it is a Star Trek Picard book.
Okay.
And it was
As
pretty
in,
good.
Like based on the Picard show specifically?
Yes, but it was
not just about Picard as a character?
Okay. And it was more about like Wesley Crusher coming back as the Traveler.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where like I got to the end of it and I was like, if I had to write a book report on this, I couldn't do it. I don't know what happened.
That's fair.
There's just a lot of time travel and alternate timelines and things changing and all of that sort of stuff. But I don't know, but I liked it.
Okay.
I did. When we get to our random section, I will tell you about the trip that I took, but I was traveling and ended up listening to the audiobook for just hours on end because of like delays and things like that. So it probably like really sunk into my head in a different kind of way because of that. But
I feel like
good.
also if a book is like confusing, like if it's got time travel or like elements that play out in any kind of nonlinear way and you're like listening to an audiobook of it, it's just like you're like swimming in a sea of it.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like there's
Well, I would say at this book I was kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to roll with it.
Fair
There were
enough.
times where I was like, who is this again? What timeline are we in? You know what? I don't care. And just went through, and I never really felt like, there were times when I was like, wait, what? That's fine. But I never felt like lost or adrift, really. I just was along for the ride.
Fair
it was
enough.
like a lazy river, and I was just in my tube listening.
I love a good roll with it fiction experience.
Yeah. I am currently reading a book called The Land and Its People by one David Sedaris, who I know we've talked about before.
Yes.
This is his first new book in a while. Collection of essays. He's an essayist. And it's... I feel like Eric and I talked about Calypso maybe on the All the Book Show. I don't know. It was a long time ago is my point. So I was excited to have a new David Sedaris book. And I'm about halfway through, and of course I'm listening to the audiobook as I always do with his because his delivery is so funny to me. I'm a little disappointed that these are mostly live recordings versus like studio recordings.
That makes sense.
And I always find that he's funnier when he's not playing to an audience.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
And then for books, I started reading The Stand by Stephen King.
Oh, wow. Have you read it before?
No, I was just sort of in the Stephen King mood, so I was going back and seeing like which ones that I still needed to read. And I was just kind of going down the list, skipping the Bachman books. And The Stand was kind of next, and I was like, you know what? Now's the time.
Fair enough.
It is about a deadly pandemic wiping out society and then the aftermath. So
well, it's been 6 years. That's a little bit of
Which
time.
still doesn't feel real.
I know.
If you told me that was last year, I would be like, yeah, it was, and it sucked. Comic books, I read a lot of comic books because I was away on 2 little trips, and so I had a lot of graphics rolling. But the 2 I'll tell you about, one is called Supergirl Adventures in Midvale. It's the new mainline Supergirl title that we have here in the collection. It's a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. I'm ready for volume 2. And then I read one that was more like a J graphic called Supergirl's Family Vacation, and it was definitely for a younger crowd, but I had a good time with it, and I enjoyed the art.
Nice.
Finally, I read Spider-Man 94, which is a continuation of the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, which I loved as a child. This was written by J.M. DeMatteis, who we interviewed on the All the Book Show back in the day. He's a kooky guy, and his writing is usually kooky, and it stands in this that it is kooky. And it's a decent Spider-Man story, but it feels nothing like the Spider-Man animated series, which is kind of the point. So I didn't feel very warmly about it.
Well...
Sorry, JM. I mean, there's so many more, but I would like to hear what you have been doing.
Okay. I have read a few things. I have continued my Emily Henry kick with Beach Read.
Okay.
I think, is that the last one? No, I still haven't read People We Meet on Vacation, but I saw the movie of that.
Okay.
I need to read it to be completionist. But I read that, and I enjoyed it. I read a book called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, which is like a cozy fantasy.
Okay.
Which I've been reading a lot of lately. I don't know. I guess I just feel
Is it witches?
Sort of. It's like there's like sorcery as like an element of it, but it's not like classical witches per se.
Yeah.
But it's like this librarian is in this library, and there's like revolution. The library's burning. It's very Library of Alexandria.
Okay.
And she like evacuates with these books and ends up on this tiny island and is like making jam and trying to hide the fact that she has spell books and all that kind of stuff. And it was fun. It did have like mer horses giving birth with like a little more detail about the mer horses giving birth than I wanted.
I would prefer no detail. I wish you hadn't said the sentence.
But it was like the entire book, and it's like the mer horses are part of it and everything, and like that's fine. And then it's like at the very end, there's this scene, and I'm like, I'm glad that they're having their mer horse babies, but I just don't need to know about how it's happening.
Happy for them. Don't want to be a part of it. I get it. When we were away at this little cabin, this older couple sat down next to us, and we just got to talking, and he mentioned that he was doing a lot of reading by the fire, and so I can't resist. You know, I had to be like, what are you reading?
Yeah, professional interest.
And based solely on stereotypes. I thought he was going to hit me with like, oh, I'm reading this Civil War history or say Louis L'Amour, like Louis L'Amour, next topic. No, all YA romantasy. Both him and his, I don't think they were married. I'm going to say girlfriend.
Okay.
The two of them. And it just, for the next, like, I want to say 20 minutes, it was just this in-depth conversation about romantasy. And I have nothing to contribute to that conversation.
Right.
So I was happy to hear it. You know, I'm like, yeah, let me have it. Let me hear what you're reading. You know, we talked about it for a long time. But the level to which I could not engage in that conversation, I felt like a real failure.
Yeah,
as a librarian in the wild, I felt like a real failure.
There's a lot of those romantasy books that like I haven't read, but I've heard so much about them that I'm like, I can participate in a conversation about this coherently. You know what I mean? But like, there's also a lot that I'm like, I know that's a book. Couldn't tell you anything beyond that.
It happens.
It happens.
And, you know, they were, like, really, like, serious about it. And the stuff they were reading actually did sound cool to me. But they were, like, in Patreons and stuff, like, interacting with authors. And, you know, it was just, like, this whole, you know, world. They were much more hip than I am. Stereotypes, you know, they're not always accurate.
They're not always accurate. You got to watch out for those.
That's what I learned.
I also read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which I haven't read anything else by her, but I've been meaning to for a long time. And it was really good. Have you read it?
No,
do you know anything about it?
I know what it is, but I haven't read it.
The like narrative style of like it's from the perspective of a character whose decisions you don't really agree with was really fascinating to me because I feel like that can very easily feel tedious, but it didn't. It was a wild experience. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like, what is this girl gonna do?
Okay.
But yeah,
but a
really
thumbs up
that.
experience.
Yeah,
okay.
thumbs up experience. I am currently reading The Black Prince by Iris Murdoch, which is for that Iris Murdoch book club that I'm doing this summer.
Right. So specific.
Yeah. And I'm reading Death Meets Cute by Jay Penner, which is another cozy fantasy.
Death meets cute.
Yes, Death meets cute.
Okay. Not a death meet cute. Meets. Like death is meeting cute.
Yes, but it's for sure a play on like
but
a
it's
meet
also
cute.
A
That's
meet
kind
cute.
of the idea.
Okay. All right.
But it's like there's like 3 evil witch sisters And one of them is like, I'm tired of dealing with you two. I'm going to go off on my own.
Okay.
And so she goes off on her own to do evil, witchy things. And this like orc like dies on her doorstep, like he was in a fight or whatever.
Okay.
And so she's like, well, I've been reading this book about necromancy, so I'm going to bring him back to life and like force him to be my bodyguard, and I'll be evil.
Yeah.
She's not as evil as she thinks she is. That's like an ongoing issue. But then he like raises back up to life, and instead of being like this surly fighting orc mercenary guy, he's like, oh, like I can make you some cookies, like, you know, whatever. This porch hasn't been swept.
Who saw
in a
this
while.
subgenre coming? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Because it's everywhere.
I don't know, but it is cracking me up. And there's like a hedgehog familiar who's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I'm just rolling with it.
Man.
I read one by her before,
Okay.
which was like a cozy fantasy, but it's like Great British Bake Off themed.
Okay.
And I thought the concept of that was really fun, but the execution just didn't like totally click with me. But this one I feel like it's giving a lot more.
Did you ever read the Dresden Files? I feel that I've asked you this before.
No, I don't know if you have asked me.
You don't
that
know
before.
what that is?
I don't know what that is.
He's like a PI, but is also like magic. It's a magic world. He has like a skull on his desk that talks to him and stuff. Just seems very much like the kind of stuff that's happening right now. Only Dresden Files is like Jim Butcher in the 90s. And there was like a sci-fi one-season show based on it. But I feel like the Dresden Files is like ripe to be rediscovered.
Yeah.
So who knows how aggressively 90s it is.
First.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely take my advice on that kind of thing. That's what I want. I want to know if you and Caleb had a meet cute.
See, this is like kind of actually disappointing. I don't think so.
No. Okay.
But the issue is, so we were both part of the same London Honors program in college.
Right. Okay.
And before we went to college, they like made a Facebook group with all the people in our cohort so we could all see who each other were and chat a little bit. And Caleb didn't really participate in that, but like I knew who he was. I like saw that he was in that.
Okay.
And he was like, his profile picture at the time was like him in his prom outfit, but like holding a Tupperware of chocolate chip cookies.
That feels right, though, doesn't it? I mean, even now that feels, I wouldn't be surprised.
He would do it again, I'm sure. I'm sure he would. But so that was like the first impression that I had of him was like in the prom
in like a tuxedo.
In a tuxedo holding baked goods.
Okay.
We were at Houghton then, and then we like...
That sets the bar high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's classy, but he also has snacks.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's
so
true.
anything less than that's going to be
disappointing.
Right. It's going to be disappointing.
But so then we were at Houghton, and we like, whatever, we like met up with all the other London people and stuff. But like, I don't remember the moment that we actually officially met. Just like then all of a sudden we just knew each other. It was kind of the state of affairs.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Disappointing, I know.
Hillary and I were in a play together. And
that seems like a meet cute.
I remember her from the read-through, though we didn't talk at the read-through. And then just slowly, gradually, you know, her bad attitude and all that just really appealed to me. And we would do notes at the end. The director would be giving notes, and I would always sit like near her, like on the step near her or something like that. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, gradually. So
just move a step closer.
I don't know if that counts as a meet cute. I do think it's funny that she's the only person from that show that I never had any dialogue or interaction with on stage.
That is kind of funny.
The only character that I never interacted with was her.
That is funny. I feel like that counts as a meet cute.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems like a classic meet cute scenario.
Okay. I interrupted you now. Did you talk about all your books?
Oh, I had one more book.
Okay.
I'm reading Animals and Why They Matter by Mary Midgley, which is like philosophy about animals.
Oh, okay.
Which may radicalize me about animals even more than I already have been. But I'm reading this as like a buddy read with my friend Phoebe. And we're like discording. She lives really far away, so we're like discording and talking about it every so often. Yeah, it's been good.
That's a good idea.
It's been good. Because both of us, she was like up, I don't know, like last month or something, 2 months ago. I don't know when. Because one of our mutual friends was getting married and it was like closer to us. So she stayed with us.
That's
and we were talking and we were like, we miss like reading books together and talking about them. And we were like, well, let's just do that.
Yeah.
We can. Who's stopping us? We can do that. So
I mentioned that that Star Trek book, To Defy Fate, was that I read with my friend book club. That is like our 115th book.
That's
or something
amazing.
Like that. Like we're coming up on 8 years of doing this, which is you know, man, I'm bragging about it. It's unattainable. This is nothing that is supposed to happen in the natural world.
No, that's crazy. So. Some law of nature was broken there.
Yeah.
I started like an online friend book club, and we read books for like maybe like 2 years, I want to say. And then I was like, hey, like, do you think someone else, like, I'm just like really busy right now. Do you think someone else could take charge of like helping pick the book and like breaking up when we're doing the readings and stuff? And everyone was like, what if we just don't read books and we just call and talk once a month? So that's what we're doing now.
But you are doing it?
But we are doing it.
It's happening?
It is happening. We are still
All right.
calling and talking.
That's good.
And truly, like, the book club aspect was only ever an excuse for me to be in touch with them.
Sure.
Like, I like reading books,
Sure.
and I'm always reading books. So, like,
Yeah.
might as well read books and talk about them.
Yeah.
But as long as we keep calling and I get to hear
Yeah.
about the drama at all of their workplaces and everything.
Sure.
That's what matters.
It's just such a weird thing to have, like, three, like my brother and two friends, like, so there's four of us, and we've all just read over 100 of the same books. It's just a weird...
That's amazing.
It's a weird thing that's happened. I mean, we have a very strict schedule, like a cycle of what the format or genre of the next book is going to be. Like, we have that all in a document, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Because I'm a taskmaster when it comes to this kind of things, because I know we stumble once and it's going to be gone forever.
You can't let that eat your streak.
But we picked a
waste.
date that, like, we always do the first Sunday afternoon of the month, and no matter what. So, like, there's been a couple times where there's only been two of us, but we're like, no, we're not going to reschedule. It's just going to happen.
Well, as soon as you start rescheduling, it's all going to crumble.
Yeah.
I fear.
Yep. I think it's my brother's pick next, and I was thinking of you because he's been wanting to get us to read Dracula for so long, and now his pick falls in October, and so he's like,
That's
this could be my
perfect.
chance. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be reading Dracula.
That's so exciting.
So
I'm excited for you.
I'm going to read that weird Icelandic translation that's not really the story
well,
at all.
you should read the actual Dracula, but then you should also read the Icelandic translation.
And then I want to read yours. So
Yeah, okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just a Dracula
All
hat
right.
trick.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got going on in your random life?
Yeah, well, I mean, I mentioned some trips. We went to Lake Canandaigua, which is in PA. We just got a little cabin there and pretty much did nothing. Just kind of sat around, read comics, as I said.
Nice.
And went in the water and had fires, and that was really nice. But then after that, do you remember Eric Mickles? Do you remember how he...
Yeah.
Do you remember Eric?
Oddly enough,
Yeah.
it rings a bell.
Yeah. Well, we just passed his 40th birthday.
Wow.
And
Happy 40, Eric.
I know. And he doesn't look a day over 50, so I think he's really holding it together well. But we met in Chicago to celebrate his 40th, and we did so many things. We went to the Art Institute, and I saw such cool paintings. Like, just name a famous painter, and I saw a painting there. But I saw Nighthawks, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
so cool.
That one is so cool.
There was some very atypical Van Goghs, which I really liked. We went to the Field Museum, and we were mostly there to see Sue the T-Rex, because Eric, as a dinosaur enthusiast, as you know from our previous 2 episodes, and we did that, and it did not disappoint. And they had her actual skull, because it was damaged and stuff. The actual skull is in a case that's like ground level, so you can like really.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's a replica that's on the body, and you obviously you can't tell, but that was all really cool. Eric also got us tickets to the Pokemon exhibit,
Nice.
which is the first time it's ever been out of Japan.
Oh,
And
wow.
as you learned from our library group chat, I know
Yes.
nothing about Pokemon. And so it was so lost on me, and I was so puzzled by it. But I took a lot of pictures, and I felt that both you and Corey benefited from
Yeah, absolutely.
going
We got
to
to
that,
vicariously
so,
ben.
yeah.
Could you name a favorite Pokemon? Like, is that something you can do?
What's the... Wait, is the turtle just Squirtle?
Yeah, Squirtle.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
I
That's a
always
good
like
pick.
that turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
I have played. I should preface. I have played Pokemon Sun because forever ago on a Nintendo DS, Eric was like, "Let's get these and then we can play together."
Okay.
So he got Pokemon Moon, which was the one I wanted because it looked cooler, and I got Pokemon Sun. We never played once, not a single time, but I did play Pokemon Sun. So for what it's worth, I have played that one game.
You have some Pokemon experience.
While I did not catch them all, I caught many of them. We also went to Second City, which is, famous comedy landmark. We saw a live show. Pandemonium Please Hold was the name of the group. And it was hilarious. It didn't disappoint. We got there early. We got great seats. I had a little cookie platter that I ordered.
Nice.
And we just sat there eating cookies and watching comedy, and it was tons of fun.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
My plane was delayed many times, and I was so tired from walking around Chicago, and they kept walking us from one end of the airport to the other. Oh, it's on this gate. Oh, it's on this gate.
They like to tantalize you that way.
So, but we finally got there, but I did listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I read a lot of graphics, because we also found a cool comic book store there, so I found some cool comics. So
Nice.
It's been a busy last couple of weeks for
Yeah.
me, because we had those two things pretty much back to back.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
Yeah. What about you? It's gonna pale. It's gonna pale in comparison now, because I did so much fun stuff.
You did so much fun
Yeah.
stuff. I didn't go to a Pokemon exhibit. What am I supposed
Did
to
you
do?
see the painting American Gothic in real life?
No,
Well,
but I would like
so,
to.
you know.
I would like to.
So
That
what
sounds
did
cool.
what did you do?
I went blueberry picking. which is kind
That's
of
pretty
a
good.
tradition. And I now have so many blueberries in my fridge and in my freezer.
And you pretty much know that those are not going to give you explosive diarrhea.
I know.
Like grocery store blueberries.
Well, also right now I have like lettuce growing in my garden.
Yeah.
And I can actually eat a salad.
Yep.
Fearless.
Same. We
it
also
feels
have
so
that.
good. It's
we
so
have lettuce
amazing.
growing. I know.
I've
It's gotten us through
also-
some tough times.
Yeah, no kidding. This is kind of a nerdy thing, but
I'm ready.
I've also been preserving a bunch of mint because the garden that I kind of planted with some of my friends, we planted some mint. And you know how mint like takes off and it's like suddenly the entire world is mint?
Let's say I do.
All right. Well, that's what happens. So there's so much mint, and I love what I do is I like take a sprig of it and I put it in a mug and I pour boiling water over it, and I just like it's just mint tea. Like that's just it's amazing. But the thing is, in the summer it's like so hot and like there's so much mint, but the number of days that I want to drink a hot drink is less than for the rest of the year.
Minimal.
So what I've been doing is I've been cutting mint sprigs, and then I've been like tearing up the leaves and putting them into an ice cube tray and freezing water with them, and then I'm putting them into like a baggie.
Okay.
So that then in the winter I can like melt one and pour it. And instead of being like the dried mint, it won't be fresh, but it'll have more of that fresh mint taste.
That's a pretty good idea.
I know, and I am excited about this.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know.
I thought you were going to say you're
forager.
like making mint jelly or something like that.
No, I haven't escalated.
That
to
doesn't
level
sound
yet.
good to me. I don't think that's a flavor I want in a jelly.
I feel like it depends on the kind of jelly, you know?
I don't know. What would you like toast? I don't know what you put mint jelly
I feel
on.
like that's a toast situation,
Okay.
or maybe like I don't know. You know how sometimes there's like those sweet little like I think of them as biscuits, but they're like the little hard packaged cookies.
Yeah.
If you get plain ones, I feel like a mint jelly could be good.
That could work. You know, we usually get a bunch of blackberries, but the heat wave just killed them. So we didn't get. I mean, we got like a handful.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
I love to go out. There's like a couple spots
Yeah.
around town where there's a bunch of black raspberry bushes that just grow wild.
Yeah.
And I like to go out and just like pick them and bring them home. But I didn't do that this year.
I haven't been blueberry picking since I was a child. And I did enjoy it. And I ate a lot of them while we were picking it.
That's the necessary part of the process. Is like by the end, you have to be like, your fingers are like blue.
Yeah.
And you feel a little bit sick.
A little queasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that sunlight and all those blueberries.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And like,
I get it.
you've got some like bush scratches on your arms.
Right.
That's necessary as well.
You have to have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also bought a bike.
Yes.
So I now have a bike. It's blue and it has a cute little handlebar basket. I've always wanted a bike with a handlebar basket, so this is a big moment for me.
It looks like you're in a rom-com.
Yes,
I can't
it
even
feels
imagine,
like I'm in a rom-com.
I can't imagine you just like driving that down the road with like a baguette and like,
yes,
you know, big.
I can't eat a baguette, but that's
but
the
just
idea.
for the prop, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Just get a big gluten-free baguette and stick it there all wrapped in plastic.
Yeah. That is funny. It's a cool bike. It definitely is.
Yeah,
So.
I'm excited about it. And I don't know. Oh, I remembered another movie that I watched. I'm doing everything out of order. I watched Enola Holmes 3 with my friends.
Oh, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's out.
Sneaky.
And it has nothing to do with the books anymore. So
Sure.
don't be falsely under the impression that it has to do with the books. It's fun, but it's just like completely different. But that like reminded me of reading the Enola Holmes books, and bikes are like so central because it's like that's a way as a woman in Victorian times that you can actually get around. And so I was thinking about that like at about the same time I was getting the bike, and I just feel like, I don't know, it just feels very serendipitous.
It does.
I need to come up with a cool name for my bike.
You know, Masters of the Air is very bike heavy too, because the bases they're at are so big that the guys are all trying to like buy bikes in downtown so they can get from like the mess hall to barracks and
That's
stuff.
funny.
So yeah, a lot. I do think you need to name it. Are you going to go like human name for the bike? Like
I'm
Vanessa?
not sure. Maybe, or like human adjacent. You know what I mean? Like there's
Sure.
some names that it's like that's technically kind of a human name,
Right.
but like not a name you actually use for a human.
Sure.
I don't know. When I was a kid, all of our bikes had names, and I feel like they were mostly based on the appearance of the bike.
Sure.
Like I think my bike was like Whip or something like that.
Yeah.
And my sister's bike was like Wings because it had like the little handlebar tassels. You know what I'm talking about? And also there was like a complicated family social system amongst the bikes.
Okay.
Like it was a whole like an ongoing drama. I would like literally go out into the garage and like talk to the bikes as though I was visiting our neighbors. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever read the Spirit Flyer series by John Bybee?
I don't think so.
Okay. All
Are
right.
there sentient bikes?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah, it's like a Christian allegory.
Okay.
So I thought maybe you might have read it in your childhood because it was just one of those
that
ones
sounds
that kept
possible,
popping
but I
up,
don't think I did.
Okay.
But so
they
I don't
got
know.
Dark and weird.
I'm like I have to come up with a good name for this bike that like carries on the spirit, you know, of this like childhood bike experience. But
Birdie.
maybe, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I'm a part of this now, so
Yeah, absolutely.
together we'll figure it out.
You got anything else going on?
I don't think so. Just enjoying our newfound free time. That's not true. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get this roof going because we're in the process of replacing the front windows and replacing the roof. So
those are things
a lot
we
of
need.
Buildings and grounds things happening up in here.
Well, better you than me. That's all I can say.
No, it's fun. It's super fun. Yeah.
Well, I have started Louis L'Amour.
Oh, okay.
I will say nothing about my reactions so far.
I did read a couple of Louis L'Amours that I didn't include in this, so we can talk about them next time.
Nice.
All right. So we're talking Louis L'Amour next time.
Yes, in 2 weeks. We'll see you then.
All right.